Hi, sixth grade. I'm introducing you guys to a new project. This project is entitled a Google Form project. And I have on my screen the directions, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the directions and kind of show you how to get started and a final product so you know how to work on it. Each time you have tech, it is only for 20 minutes. 10 minutes of it is going to be practicing keyboarding skills. The other 10 minutes is going to be doing an activity. So we are switching to, after our 10 minutes of keyboarding, to 10 minutes of Google Forms. So you're going to be using Google Form to create, basically it's a survey. You basically are creating some questions, and then you're going to have your classmates answer those questions. Now, the topic of your Google Form survey can be any of the following things. You can create a Google Form about maybe some of your elementary memories, maybe a sport that you know a lot about and you want to ask questions about the sport you know. Maybe you are really a history buff and you know a lot about a particular historical event, or maybe you have a great interest in presidents, so maybe you want to ask some questions about presidents. Landmarks, maybe someplace you've been, you know a lot about. Music, maybe you're a big country music fan, you want to ask people about country music. Technology, or even a famous person. So those are just some ideas. Your survey has to have 5 questions. And you're going to work on this again just for 10 minutes every time we have tech. So if you don't get only 2 questions done this time, that's fine. Each question, you have the ability to choose its question type. So I want you, of the 5 questions, I want 3 of them to be, I want 3 different question types shown. So you can have a multiple choice question, you can have a checkbox question, a drop down answer, or a short answer. And I'll show you all those here in a second. And you're also going to be putting on an image with one of your questions. And that image is something that we have to possibly look at to be able to even answer the question. Our goal is to have everyone in class take it, take your quiz that you're kind of creating, your survey, and then we'll be setting up the proper settings for that to happen. So no one's answering your survey just yet. We're just getting started. So I'm going to show you first an example of what we want you to do, so that way you know what it looks like. So here is a survey that Mr. Boswin put together, and it is called, What Do You Know About Basketball? So obviously he knows a lot about basketball. And we created a title, and then right here is his first question. So he's asking, a high school game is divided into how many quarters for how many minutes each? Its total duration is 32 minutes. So then he has 4 different answer options. Now he put a picture with it, but I don't have to look at the picture to be able to answer the question. I could probably answer that without looking at the picture. All right, my second question was, how many points are scored when a player shoots the ball at location number 1 or number 2 on the court? This is a question where I have to look at the picture to be able to give the correct answer. All right, so this first question was a multiple choice because you get to choose just one answer by filling in the dot. This question is a drop-down list option. So right here, I have a list of options, and I have to click on it to have it drop down to pick it. His third question is another multiple choice. All right. His fourth question is a short answer. So here I can go in here and I can actually type in items. So there's his third type of question. So he's had multiple choice, short answer, and a drop-down list. On this question, he's actually having me watch video, and after I watch the video, then I can give my answer. So that's another option you can do if you don't want to do a picture. Okay. Again, this one is having us look at a picture to be able to determine the answer. And then down here, this is another it's called a linear, I think it's called linear grid, where I can fill this out. So I have to look at it from the NCAA tournament bracket on the East Coast. Who do I think belongs? Which of these teams belongs to the East? Which one belongs to the Midwest? Which one belongs to the South? And which one belongs to the West? And here is a sample bracket that possibly, if looking at it, might help me figure out that answer, but maybe it won't. Just depends on your picture. All right, so again, he had 5 questions. He had different question types. So this again was multiple choice. This was a drop-down list. Here we had another multiple choice, a short answer, another multiple choice, and this was the linear grid. So when you guys go to get started, Google Form is only found through your Google Drive. So you're going to have to go to Google Drive and come over here to the New button and come down to More. There's where you're going to find Google Forms. It's the only place it's at. Okay, so you're not going to find it in Google Classroom. You're going to have to go out to Google Drive, go to More, and Google Forms. Once this opens up, it's going to give you a generic form to get started. And at the top, it's called Untitled Form. So this is where you're going to give the title to your survey. So like Mr. Bosselman's had, what do you know about basketball? That was his title. Okay. Down here where it says Untitled Question, there's where you type your first question. Over here are your question types. Okay. Short answer and paragraph is where you're typing in your answer. Multiple choice, circles, one choice. Checkboxes. This is where you can have them check off more than one option. So maybe you want which of these fruit flavors are your favorite, and you're listing a bunch of flavors, and then you, the person answering it, would just check off any of them that you liked. Okay, so there you can give more than one answer. Drop down list, that's where you have to hit the drop down arrow to see the list of choices. Okay, we won't use file upload. Linear scale. This one is the rating, and I messed up earlier in the video. This one is if I wanted to give a scale on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I would use this type of answer scale. Okay. Multiple choice grid. That's the one we saw where we had to choose our NCAA brackets. Okay. So this is the multiple choice grid. Okay. Checkbox grid. These two are very similar. They would be set up the same, except for this is multiple choice. Only one dot, one answer per row. Checkbox, you can check off many boxes in each row. Okay. And again, date and time, we won't use those. But those are your question types. So I can go in here and I can type in my question. Here I type in my answer choices. So I can put in, if I just put in, I'm going to say yes. Show you an example here. No. Maybe. I don't know. IDK. Okay. So I can put in as many option choices as I want. And then if I had a picture to go with that, I would come over here to the Add Image button to pick my picture. So when I do that, I have to have the image either saved on my computer, that would be your upload. Maybe I'm taking it with my camera, so I could click on that and take the picture with my camera on my Chromebook. Maybe I have it saved in my photos already. Maybe it's in my Google Drive because I already took the picture and had it in there. That's another option. Okay, so that's how you would add a graphic. So we can get out of there. Those of you that might want to do a YouTube video, right here is where you click on that. Again, it's going to be a YouTube video, or if you know the URL of the website, you could try to use that as well. Okay, so that's how you could put a video in. And all these things that we're talking about, the video, the image, the video, it's going to pop up below the question. Okay, and that will allow us to then see the picture below it. So if I go back to Mr. Bosselman's, and here I can see the question. So when I click on the question here, I can see all my answer choices. Underneath it's the basketball picture. I can always move things around with these little bars right here. I can click and I can drag. I could even put the basketball picture before it if I wanted to. Okay. So your choice. I'm going to move it back because I didn't make this. All right. So there is kind of the setup to get you going. All right. Really, all I want you to do this week is figure out what your topic's going to be about. Put in your title and see if you can get a couple questions in, and then call it quits for the day. And we'll come back to it in the following week to try to add more questions and to put some of these final touches like the basketball up here and that type of thing. So lots to learn with this, but right now I just want you to get started with being able to create the form and get a couple questions done. and then we'll keep working on it. So again, it can be about anything that you feel comfortable asking questions about because you know the answer, or maybe you want to research something. Maybe you want your entire thing to be about the Statue of Liberty. So you do some research and get some questions that you want to ask people based on some information you found on Google about the Statue of Liberty. That can be done too. So your choice. Obviously, making sure it's school related and appropriate. But otherwise, once you have fun with it, it's a little bit of a fun project. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask.